And when I shook his hand, I knew in that moment this was going to be something special. And so when he sat down, I said, so did you get a chance to write down all the wisdoms of 100 years of living? And he said, oh yeah, I did. And I said, well, where is it? Because I expected a big, thick, stack of documents. And he said, oh, I have it. And he reached into his breast pocket and said, it's right here. And he handed it over to me, and I took it and I opened it up, and I read it in about 30 seconds because it was only 2/3 filled out. And I said, that's it? And I realized then that I was being disrespectful. And I said, well, how is all this? It's no way that all this is possible with what's just on this piece of paper. And he smiled knowingly and said, that's the problem, is that you could hand this piece of paper to a young man, and they will open it and they will read it and they will think that they understand it, but they will disregard it, and they will go on looking for more fanciful, complicated, seemingly mysterious ideas in order to capture their success. And he said it won't be until somebody arrives 100 years later, when they're contemplating their life and trying to make sense of it, that they will then reread this piece of paper and say to themselves, that was it. Everything you ever needed to know to be extraordinarily wealthy, well-respected, and very much loved appears on this piece of paper. And he could tell that I was stunned and stunted by this idea. And so he went on to explain, he said, look, because I never went to high school, I wasn't very smart. And I thought that was a disadvantage. And so every endeavor I pursued, I just had to find out what were those few things that made this work. And because I thought I wasn't very smart, I didn't change them. I didn't try to adapt them and make them my own. I just did them. And then because I did them over and over again, I got really good at them. And the thing that I thought was my disadvantage became my great advantage. And the first thing that was written on this piece of paper was, only a few things matter to anything. And he told me, and we went on for another 2 hours, and I don't think we talked about anything else that was on this piece of paper, but about this one concept, and that is, you want to find those few things, and then you want to stick to them, and then you want to master them. And you see, I think at this point of the conference, you've been given so many ideas, and we're always looking at the bleeding edge, what's new, what's novel, what's shiny. And this, I think, is a really important reminder that when it comes down to it, when you go back to your businesses or your relationships or your lives, in the end, only a few things matter. So I want to unpack this for you. I remember watching a Stephen Hawking's documentary, The Grand Design. He's trying to explain the cosmos and the universe. And he said, you can understand the cosmos, the universe, and complicated systems like the brain because they all boil down and are governed by a few simple principles. A few simple principles govern the entire universe and the cosmos as well as the brain. And when you understand those simple principles, you now know how to make sense of and govern and master these complicated systems. And so that's what I want to help you discover. So let's talk about finding. The guy that really helped me find what really matters is when I interviewed this guy, Dr. Oz. And at the time that I interviewed him, he was running the nonprofit organization, best-selling author, and he was still doing 200 open heart surgeries. And I asked him, I said, how is it that you possibly are able to get all this done, much more than me? And he was always relaxed and at ease. And he said, look, anything that you do, there's only a few things. There's a few vital functions. Even open heart surgery, there's hundreds of procedures that are done before I come in. And then I do 2 or 3 things, and those 2 or 3 things matter the most of whether the patient lives or dies. And I focus only on becoming masterful at those 2 or 3 things. When I do them, then I leave the rest to the capable team. Same thing with running a television network, running a nonprofit organization, all of the rest. That's finding your vital few functions. Then, when it comes to focus or sticking to them, this is the guy that I really learned this from. When asked, what is the most, of any revolutionary product you or Apple's ever created, what are you most proud of? His answer was, I am as proud of what we don't do as I am of what we do. And then he went on to explain, people think focus means saying yes to the thing you have to focus on, but that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the other 100 good ideas there are. You have to pick carefully, so saying no to the 1,000 things is your key to success. When asking Warren Buffett, if you could boil your success down to one key principle, of all the oracle, the Oracle of Omaha knows about investing and building wealth, what would be your one key to success? He said, for every 100 great opportunities that are brought to me, I say no 99 times. So I hope that in this brief period of time, taking 100 years of wisdom and boiling it down into 10 minutes, that you don't wait till you get to 100 years before you truly understand that in any endeavor, in any activity, in anything you're pursuing success in, there are only a few things that matter. Don't leave the field of the few things that matter to chase the novel, the new, and the exciting, because ultimately you'll leave success on the table. Thank you all very much.